So Jevon Holland is with me here at Hollywood Kia, which he is every Tuesday, and there's some Dolphins fans came out to take a picture with him. He's out here every Tuesday with us, usually 2 till 3. Hollywood Kia, it's at Pembroke Road and 441. And I personally am still on a high from the Dolphins win on Sunday. I'm still on a low from the Canes loss on Saturday night, which I want to talk to Jevon about because it happened with Mario Cristobal at Oregon.
Yeah, the same thing happened.
Same thing happened against Stanford. Yep. All right, I'll start there, Crowder. Why not? We're going to get headlines with Solana, and we'll spend an hour here with Jevon. We'll talk some Dolphins and have some fun. But let me start there because I'm a Canes fan. I went to the University of Miami. We had a win Saturday night. All you had to do was get into the victory formation. They chose not to. Were you watching, or have you just seen the highlights, and what did you make of it?
I wasn't watching. I did see the highlights, but I saw the situation, and I knew. I just knew what was going to happen because the same thing happened to me. We were playing Stanford. It was my freshman year. I believe it's game 4. Stanford's ranked like number 7. We're 20. It's like an upset game. It's a big game because J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was like really mossing everybody during the year. So it was a big year. It was a big game for us DBs. And I just remember getting to the fourth quarter. We're up by like 3 points. And Jalen Jelks, who was our defensive end at the time, came up to me and was because I had a pretty good game. He came up to me and was like, "Yo, great game. Like, I'm proud of you. You've been working hard."
Like
right?
It's over.
It's like there's like 40 seconds left, right? It's like second down. I'm assuming, boom, 2 knees and we're or 1 knee and we're done. So I remember him coming to me going, "Yo, great job. We're dapping it up." I'm taking the tape off on my hands, like on my fingers, and I turn around and I look at the screen, and Stanford is like pointing the other direction on our 40-yard line, and the whole defense is like, not the whole defense, the whole team is just standing there like frozen.
How'd this happen?
And Cristobal has the same look, like the arms crossed, and he was like, the same look. And I was like, there's no way. Boom. So then they get the ball, they score, they throw a fade at J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, they score. Then it's overtime, and like you start from like the 25-yard line or something like that. So we try, we don't score. Then first and second down goes by, third down's up. We get a stop. It's fourth down. They're on like the 20-yard line, right? And they throw it up to the end zone. I'm covering somebody, but I end up running over to where the ball is thrown. And Diamador Lenore, who's the starting corner for the 49ers, number 2, Demo tips the ball in the air, and their tight end tips it off his hand and then catches it in the end zone. And we're all like right there, like about to knock the ball down, but he catches it. And then they all like they kick a field goal and they win the game. And everybody was just like,
I feel like it was in slow motion while you're watching the tight end come down with it.
It literally was in slow motion. Like I saw Demo tip it up. I'm like, let's go. And then we lost. I was like, wow, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Because I'm trying to have an example. If I'm trying to find a reason behind not kneeling it, is it the thought of like real men don't kneel the ball? We're going to play every snap as hard as we can play every snap. Is that the thought? And did Mario justify the decision to y'all after the game?
I'm not necessarily sure if that's the thought, but it's like I don't understand real men not taking a knee. That doesn't even make sense to me. It's about winning the game. You have the game in the bag. Like you literally have the groceries in the bag. You already paid. You're walking out the grocery store, and then you just fumble all over yourself. It's just I don't even know what to make of it.
But what's the rationale? I mean, doesn't everyone know? Especially like because you could have kneeled twice, but doesn't everyone know like the moment it's under 40 seconds,
you're good.
You're good. So how does a coordinator not tell him? How does Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback maybe not look back after he gets the play call? Or hey, if the coach calls this, you run the play.
I was lost when it happened to us, and I'm still lost currently as it happened to Miami. And I just feel so sad for the Canes because I know the exact feeling. And then there was a video of the lineman just like confused, and they panned to him. He's like, "What are we doing?" And I had the same thought. I'm like, "Bro, what are we doing?" And then on top of that, they score a touchdown, like not even a field goal. It's a touchdown. Oh my goodness. It's just true pain, bro. Those right there those like really those stay with you. And on top of that, it's like prime time. They were supposed to win that game.
Yeah, they were 3 touchdown favorites.
Oh my goodness, I my heart goes out to the Canes and the players on that team because that's a tough one to lose, especially in that situation.
And Jevon, I bring up guys that were coordinators in the past, and like I knew cover 4 in the red zone. It's a quarterback sneak heaven because there's nobody in the box. If they go empty, and we're playing the Patriots, they scored a quarterback draw from the 8-yard line. We get back in the third quarter. He goes cover 4, and all the guys know football, and we're looking over the sideline like we can't go forward. We need to go 0. We need somebody in the box. He yells at me to go out on number 2 weak. I was a middle linebacker. Go out on number 2. Go out on number 2. As soon as I leave the box, they run a quarterback draw for another touchdown. I go crazy, cuss the defensive coordinator out on the sideline, get fined a bunch of money. But as a college student, could you check a play? Could you like Hawk asked, like could Tyler Van Dyke as a college student look at a coach and like, coach, this is not a smart idea?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, okay, now that I'm seeing it from that perspective, yeah, I mean, he 100% could have been like, you know what, nah, let's take a knee. You know what I mean? And then Cristobal could have called a timeout, yelled at him, but what are you
and then
do?
math would prevail.
What are you going to do? Like, you know, he's your starting quarterback. What are you going to bench him? No, you're not. You're going to keep him in. You know, a quarterback is hard to find in a college environment. The one that's going to win and help you win, and they're having a good year. So, of course, he's going to be like, yeah, you know what? In hindsight, it's 2020. That was a good decision to just kneel the ball. We don't want anything to happen, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of the ball. You got 40 seconds left on the clock. It's second down. Take a knee. You're going to win the game. Like, what are you trying to get extra yard? What are you trying to pad stats? Come on, brother, man. You just lost your team the game in a crucial situation. Now the camera pans to you. Right after that happens, the fumble happens, the camera pans to you, and all you can do is just stand there and look into space because you know that you're wrong. You know that you're wrong, and you should have taken it.
Could you lose a locker room that way?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. You can lose a locker room that way. You can lose a locker room doing something smaller than that, but you can definitely lose a locker room doing that, especially if after you try to justify your decision and everyone knows, like, bro, you're wrong.
There is no justification. There just isn't.
Wrong. You were wrong.
You could check a box. You could win the game.
Whatever your thought process was, you were wrong, bro. You had the game in the bag.
Here's the good news, Crowder, is I thought I was going to get eviscerated from Jevon about the Hurricanes' loss on Saturday because, you know, he's a big West Coast guy. But the fact that it happened to him maybe has made him a little more sympathetic to the plight of Hurricanes fans on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'll take that as a small dub.
And you know what it is, Hawk? We've talked about this in the past. You can be a fan of another team or not be a fan. It seems like the Gators, you know, we've been going at it for years, Gators versus Canes. If you appreciate the game of football, you respect the game and respect how the game's supposed to be played. When you see decisions like that, I said it, Hawk, on Monday. I was like, yesterday, I was like, I feel sorry for the Canes because that's not good football.
100%.
Yeah, you could have been 5-0, and then you've got UNC and Clemson that you got to get past. But if you do, you could be 7-0 heading into a game against FSU in prime time. Like, you can't ask for more.
7-0 into prime time is you can't ask. You would get college game day.
Yeah,
you would.
Yes. If it was FSU, and was undefeated, it would have been 2 top 10 teams, and college game day probably would have been in Tallahassee.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we're at Hollywood Kia. We're going to talk Dolphins with Jevon Holland. Let's start, though, with headlines here with Alejandro Solana, who's got double duty tonight. He's got pre-heat tonight. You got the first heat preseason game of the year. So Solana will be out at the Kaseya Center tonight.
Yes, sir. Heat season is back. I'll get there in a second. These headlines are driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. What we found out today from Mike McDaniel, obviously following up his comments yesterday, is that Devon Achane will end up missing some time. The rookie sensation is going to be sidelined reportedly a couple weeks with a knee injury.
All right, we'll talk about that in the next segment with Jevon. Get his thoughts. They're pretty deep at running back, but that one hurts.
And Jeff's gigantic butt is coming back too.
Yep.
He's a big old human being. He's large.
He is.
Last night, Monday Night Football, Raiders beat the Packers 17-13. They survived with an interception late in the game. Jordan Love threw it up, and the Raiders came down with it.
All right, very good.
Vikings, they placed Justin Jefferson on the IR with a hamstring injury. He's going to be out at least until week 10. That's following their 1-4, I think, start to the season.
Yeah.
They 1-4, I think so. They definitely have one win. Yeah.
We talked about it last year. They were winning every game in the last couple minutes. You can't live like that for year and years. Yeah. So now it's catching back up with them.
Heat preseason opener tonight versus Charlotte, 7:30 p.m. start time from the Kaseya Center. I'll be live 6:15, as Hawk mentioned, from the arena. By the way, new jumbotrons like in each corner at the Kaseya Center. So if you're going out there,
you were out there last night, so it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. And
there was no Eastern Conference banner hanging though.
Nah, not yet.
Right.
It'll just be up there though. I don't expect any ceremony for the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. Right. Ceremonies for championships.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll never see them because I'm going to stay and hide the whole game. I'll never see the jumbotrons.
He just wants to know if they got bigger TVs at Hyde.
What did I do this offseason? That's what I'm going to be.
And then don't forget Panthers season opener Thursday, 8 p.m. at the Minnesota Wild. By the way, Miami this weekend plays UNC, 7:30 p.m. start time. Their game against Clemson on October 21st, the following weekend, is at 7:30 p.m. on ABC or 8 p.m. on ACC Network. We'll find out officially after the game against UNC on Saturday.
Yeah, but definitely a night game. So 2 night games actually have been 3 in a row because you had it Saturday night. But then, UNC be prime time and Clemson will be prime time. And still could be headed towards a primetime battle with the Seminoles.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got this from the wire. Across the wire, Falcons traded for Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson, according to ESPN.
Interesting pickup.
He's a Gator.
Yeah, he's a baller too.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah. His dad coaches, right? I believe.
Yep.
You know him?
Yeah, his dad coaching in the league.
Yeah.
It's good to have Jevon here. He actually knows things about the NFL. It's incredible. It's remarkable.
Hawk's the one trying to disagree with him. I was going to agree no matter what he said. He could have said his dad is a doctor.
If I don't know, I don't know. I say I don't know. I don't agree with someone just for the sake of agreeing because it comes back to burn you.
I remember they talking about it when they were in the Super Bowl game. That's why I was like, Van Jefferson, his dad coach.
Jevon could have said his dad's a brain surgeon. I would have said, yep.
He could have said his dad is a literal van, and I would have agreed 100%.
He said his dad's in the league as well. That's right.
His dad plays with the Falcons.
Your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them 866-954-MORE. Partly cloudy today in South Florida. Tonight, the lows will drop into the mid-70s. That is your weather.
All right. Somebody wants to know, by the way, on the text line, at Oregon, who called the play that wasn't a kneel down? Was it Mario?
That was either Mario or Arroyo, our OC at the time. Honestly, I don't know. But I'm going to assume based on recent events.
Right. And now we can put the puzzle
we can
pieces
concur.
Together.
Fool me one time, shame on me.
Right.
Fool me twice. Can't get fooled again. Get fooled again.
Or shame on you, shame on me.
Right.
I know.
Yeah. I think it was Mario, honestly. But God bless him, man. He's just trying to put his players in the best position possible.
But I find it funny is that Mike McDaniel had an opportunity to actually set an NFL record that had stood for like 100 years, and the game wasn't on the line. Didn't matter if they could have trotted out Jason Sanders, kick a field goal, could have been blocked, run back all the way. It still didn't matter.
Right.
The game was out of hand at that point, and he chose to do the prudent thing, which is let's get out of here with a dub, and we'll worry about the hoo-ha. If Mario was indeed just trying to pad Chaney's stats, Chaney had not had a 100-yard rushing game. He was at 99 yards. There's a thought that maybe he was trying to get him over 100 yards.
Right.
He says that was not his thought, but I don't think he would have acknowledged that anyway. But, man, more important than the 100-yard game is obviously the dub. Right. And that affects all the teammates, not just,
And then, like you said before, the weight and pressure on the running back. to
Right.
now fumble
Right.
and lose the game. So
Right.
like on his head, it's like, dang, I fumbled. Even though I did see a
He didn't
clip,
really fumble. It seemed
He
like
was
his
down.
elbow was down.
it looked like his elbow was down. So then again, do you pose a question? Do you throw a challenge flag? You know what I mean? So it just.
But then nobody thought at that point that they were going to go out
Right.
and win the game.
Right.
Maybe, like you said, a field goal.
Right.
How do you let a receiver behind you in that situation? Is it because they're only thinking field goal?
I don't know. It's like in those situations when you know they're going to throw the ball at the DB, it's like, okay, either it's a PBU or an interception because they're throwing it up. And if they throw it up back here, I'm going to be on it. You know, that's kind of the thought process. So I'm not necessarily sure. But all of that could have been avoided with.
I agree.
Victory
That's why I
formation,
say
you know what I mean?
100% it's on Mario. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The secondary doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Cheney's fumble doesn't matter to me because you're putting it in the hands of the refs to maybe
Exactly.
overturn a call that they got wrong. Just go in the victory formation. It's a
Don't-
victory. They
don't even
call
let
it the
the-
victory formation.
Don't even let the Zebras make the decision, man. Just take it out of their hands.
He's a lot calmer today, Javon. He was
I
jacked
was
up
a little
yesterday. Yeah.
Actually, you guys made me feel better on Sunday because I was like, this weekend is shaping up for a rough one, and I felt a little better.